because I had paused it for a second. Okay, now we're back cooking again. So I had, when I talked to Steve yesterday, he said he's a member of the Aliso Viejo City Council, and their meeting was supposed to be last Saturday, and for whatever reason it got canceled. It's this morning. They've rescheduled for this morning. But it starts at like 8, and it's usually over around 9 or 9:30, so he figures he'll join us around 9:30 or 10.
Okay.
So that's good. I'm glad to hear that he's able to do that. So.
Yeah, me too. Right.
So anybody with any issues on Mac? My laptop, I've got a PowerBook at the time. It was the best there was. Starting to get a little flaky on me, and I'm not 100% sure. Maybe, Robert, maybe you've got a couple of ideas. What it's doing is it tests with TechTool Pro. It tests fine. It tests with every other piece of software that I've checked. It tests fine. But when I look up at the battery stat, and the battery test, if I run Fruit Juice, which is a battery exerciser like utility, and it checks and says the battery's at like 85% of what it was when it was brand new. Because the lithium ions just start to crap out over years, like everything else does. But when I look at the charge status of it, it shows that it's at around 5%. And so it always shows charging, where before it used to back off. You know, you'd have the orange light come on the little adapter, and when it was fully charged, it would switch over to green. Now it doesn't. It's always showing that it's charging all the time. And I'm pretty sure if I took it off the power supply, hang on, I'm going to kill whoever audio that is.
The airport area, so close to LAX, a lot of cloud coverage out there. So we do have an ABC 7 traffic check to tell you about on the westbound 105.
All right, where's that at?
405, the 3-car fence is trying to move out of lanes, but there is a backup happening affecting.
Okay, so if you want to talk, you'll have to unmute yourself, because that gets a little distracting if somebody's got the TV on or something like that on in the background. So at the moment, I don't know what the deal is with this, and as long as it's still working, it's still working. I was pricing myself a new one, thinking about getting a new one like Robert did, but my wife doesn't want me to spend the money at the moment, so I can understand that. So until it actually goes up in smoke. Yeah, Bruce.
Have you tried resetting the SMC?
Yeah, I've gone through all the little things that they recommend. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would fix it or anything, but it wouldn't hurt to try it anyway.
Yeah, I've tried that. I don't know, Robert, if these current laptops have any kind of a battery for the clock inside them, and if that's or do they use some kind of a capacitor or whatever to maintain that information when the battery finally craps out? Because it used to be a problem with older Macs, where if the battery died, it started doing real weird things. But you'd get some kind of an indication that that was going to happen.
What is the symptom?
The symptom is when I look at the battery, when I plug this into AC and I look at the battery charge status, it stays between it was at around 18%, and it's slowly been dropping down. It's hovering right around 4 or 5% for the last 3 days. And I've got 2 different power supplies I've plugged in, so I'm getting exactly the same result with both of those. And like I said, when I look at the Fruit Juice utility, it shows that the battery is not charged, but it shows that the last time I did a regular battery maintenance about a month ago, it showed that this battery in this 6-year-old laptop was about at 85% of life, which they say until you get down to around 70, you're usually pretty good. So the battery indicates that it's in good shape. But I'm assuming it's part of the charging mechanism internally on this laptop that's flaking out.
Is that the original battery?
Yes.
So
remember, this is one of the laptops that you can't replace them on.
So it's about 6 years old?
It's about 6 years old, yeah.
Well,
it may not. It's not user serviceable, but the batteries can be.
Sure, I know that, but it's one of those form-fitted batteries that's crammed in all the little nooks and crannies, all that kind of baloney, you know. So, I mean, I hardly ever use it as a battery-operated laptop. I mean, as long as it works, I'm okay with this.
Greg, you should be.
Quite honestly, I have a real hard time when I look at the price. The MacBook Pro that I would buy, like Robert's, I'd buy pretty much the top of the line, with the exception of the solid-state drive. I'd probably go with the 500 gig solid-state drive like this one has, even though I'd like to upgrade it to 2 terabyte. But to upgrade from 500 gigabyte to 2 terabyte is $1,200 more. That's insane. That's insane money that Apple wants for that. So I would just get the basic half terabyte solid state drive. But I'm still looking at around $3,000 or so. So
Right. Bruce, just for giggles here.
iFixit.com and find the directions for changing the battery, and they should also have the replacement part for the battery, the replacement
yeah,
battery.
they do. I've already looked over there, Bruce. But like I said, I don't think it's the battery. I think it's part of the I think it's the computer internally itself is wonky.
Greg, for the heck of it, go ahead and share your power display from the system information for us.
All right, hang on just a second.
Just for educational and sharing matter.
Okay, well, I don't have fruit juice running right now, but there you can see right there. Oh, and I guess I do have fruit juice running. No, I don't. No, so you can see right there. It shows battery is not charging.
Okay, no. Do it from the system information.
Okay.
No, I want more than that. About your.
About the Mac? Is that what you want?
System report.
You want
system
the
report? Yeah, system report, hardware power.
On the battery?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
As soon as I find out where battery is located at.
It's under power. First.
Okay, let's make this window a little bigger. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so it's not charging. It says it's not fully charged and it's not charging. The condition is normal. Now the amperage is showing at 0. So we have a problem with the battery. Go ahead and make that a little taller so we can see the full screen. Okay. Yeah, it's distinctly a service issue because it's not charging and it's fully charged and it's not charging. In amperage of 0. So
what's
those
also
are
weird is, see the cycle count there under health information? It says cycle count 75. On a MacBook that old, I would expect that number to be higher, wouldn't you, Robert?
Except that it's plugged in all the time. I leave it plugged in and up and running all the time.
But still, you must, well, I don't know.
The only time you get a cycle count is when you run the battery down.
That's true. So if you
Greg,
never do that.
Greg, on my computer, I've got a cycle count of 289. And
yeah, but you're using it in the field all the time, so that makes sense.
I do. How old is you? But that's while the cycle count is low, distinctly low. How old is your computer, Greg?
6 years.
Yeah, your cycle count is not realistic. That's an error. That's incorrect. But we've got pull down the. Let me look a little bit lower on the screen here. You've swapped out a second charger already, correct?
Yes, I've got two. I've got two of them right here with me. One I carry in my bag all the time, and one that I leave here permanently. Okay,
I would take one or both of those chargers, if you could, to another different computer and see if either of those charges another different computer. If it does, then we take it back to the battery. And it looks like either a defective battery or defective charging system on your computer. I mean, it's one or the other because we have a non-fully charged battery, and yet it's not charging. Bruce did already bring up the power management reset. You've tried that already. So you successfully tried that?
Yep, twice.
Okay. There's distinctly something going on. Yes, either a bad battery. At that age, it's never been replaced, correct?
No.
Yeah, at that age, I'm going to suspect it's a battery replacement. And whether you want to do it yourself or have it done at Apple, that would continue to have. Right now, the machine's not viable because scroll back up a little bit for you, if you would, please. At that point where charging remaining is 371. So you've got 371 out of 708 as far as milliamps, and you're not charging, so you don't have a viable computer there. And so
that's what I think. It's strictly running on AC. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has this last week.
Absolutely. I mean, you have 5% of the battery capacity, and it's not being charged.
Greg?
So you've got to go. Hey, Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Why don't you, if you're going to be available tomorrow, I'm available. Just bring it down. I've got all sorts of things we can do to find it real easily.
Okay.
The thing is that it could be, like you said, the battery itself. It could be the charging, part of the logic board. And the thing is in all the years I've been doing this stuff, it's usually not the charging circuit. It's usually the battery or the power adapter.
Remember, Greg, the battery is the single most unreliable component out of the entire power.
I know. It's just, I don't mind. It's not a question of spending the money. I just didn't want to spend the money and find out that isn't the problem.
That's it. Well, see, the thing I have, Greg, is a lot of spare.
The battery is the most likely single failure point.
Yeah. All right, Steve, I'll do that. We'll
just give me a call
tomorrow. I'll do that. Okay.
By the way, hello guys. I'm
back. Look at that, back from the dead, back from the almost.
Stephen, it's real good to see you.
At least I'm not looking up to see the bottom of the roots of the grass.
Yeah.
Before Greg closes this puppy down, though, let's. I mean, I asked him to bring it up for a little bit of information there. Starting up at the top, essentially for the average user, the second group there, the charge information, is really where you want to start.
Okay.
The charge rating of 371 is just what it says, how much capacity is in the battery. If you move down 4 spaces from that, the full charge capacity of 7806 is when in a perfect world, if the battery was fully charged, the charge remaining would be that same 7806, in other words, the full capacity.
Right.
But as the second and third lines show there, it's not fully charged. Yes, of course, because 371 is only 5% of 7806, and it's not charging. Greg, I believe you say you are seeing. Are you seeing a Thunderbolt in the menu icon for the battery?
It should be because here we are. Here's the Thunderbolt choice.
No. I'm sorry. In the battery icon in the menu bar, do you see?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It shows. Okay. It acts like it's charging. I mean, it
okay.
Like it's charging.
Got it. Right. So we have a disconnect between the fact that the menu bar says it's charging and the system says no, it's not charging. Going down into the health information, you have the cycle count, and the batteries that we use have a limited amount of cycles upon which they can survive with. Batteries.
Yeah, but I always thought it was like in the 2000 or something like that range.
Right. And cycles, and they have a limited number of cycles. And if somebody keeps their battery always forever charged, always hooked up to power, that's not really the best of ways, because a battery needs to do its thing. It needs to be charged and discharged. So 75, if that's it's why, real.
Yeah, that's why Robert, who was it? Oh, shoot. Now I can't think of it. The guy that moved to Texas because of his kid and then moved back. He used to be with us. I want to say Aaron, but it's not Aaron. But
no, that was
Adrian showed me. Adrian was using this little program called Fruit Juice, and what Fruit Juice does is not only does it show you the battery status of your battery here, but it constantly is showing like of your Bluetooth devices, the mouse, and every other thing that you're using with the computer. That's really nice. And then once a month, it would have you do a maintenance where what it would do is it would tell you to unplug the battery, and it would run it down to about 20% before, and it would come up every hour. It would come up and tell you how much time you got left, what you're doing, or whatever. And then finally, it started bugging you about, okay, now time to plug it back in. And supposedly, what it was supposedly doing, Robert, was exercising the battery so that it wasn't only on AC all the time. Supposedly,
Correct.
that's what it was doing.
Correct.
Now, I got
Yeah,
6 years out of the battery. 6 years is not bad as far as I'm concerned, if that's the problem is.
I mean, if we were to believe what we see, then yes, this is nearly essentially a computer that's forever always plugged in. The curvature.
Absolutely. No.
Right. The plan that utility was trying to provide was that a battery should not be total discharge, deep discharge to the full amount. Yet, yes, it needs to be used as a battery such that it then can not build up an excess of chemicals on the different nodes. Because they become so crystallized that they can't then be removed chemically.
Yeah, sulfurization or whatever it's called.
Right, exactly, that kind of thing. So that's where it takes it down on a semi-regular basis. It takes it down to a fair amount, and then puts it back. So it keeps things clean. It's kind of like the additives that they add to fuel.
Right.
It's just supposed to keep
and Robert,
and everything.
Got a question. I pulled up the same report on mine. How could I get this to show up alongside of the one that's already up there?
Well, you can't. Two people can't share the screen at the same time, but I can.
Well, then,
I can
let me just read off to you some things. Charge information, charge remaining, 2449.
Out of how many full?
And a full charge shows 3196.
Okay, so you have about 80%, 70-80%.
Right. So I can many times run it off the just battery only. Excuse me, but like the iPhone, they keep decreasing the ability to take a charge. And let me see, yours says cycle count 75. This is Greg's computer?
Yes.
Okay, 75. Mine says 251.
Right.
So.
Hang on just a second. Hang on, this is John Foley. Yeah, John.
Can you send me a link to get on?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Greg,
Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna send John Foley's lost the link. So go ahead, keep talking.
Greg, one other thing, don't forget that you can option click that menu bar icon for the battery and get a little more information there too.
Oh, really?
I don't.
Let me see here.
It will tell you what it thinks is the health of the battery. I don't know how accurate or believable that is, but at least
Bruce, you told me something that I didn't know. Mine says, if I do that option click, it has like a menu, service battery, and it's got a triangle with an exclamation point. It says 52 minutes remaining, power source battery, apps using, okay. But the thing is, my battery up in the menu bar does not show a lightning bolt. And, oh, I just noticed, hey, wait a second.
Well, you can unplug it for about a minute or so, plug it back in, and you'll get a lightning bolt for a fraction of a second.
Yeah, but I'm noticing, and I'm plugged in here, why am I not getting any, there's no green dot on the connector.
getting AC power from the wall outlet.
Yeah, well, I know the power is there. Let's see.
Okay, so while Steve's doing that, the amperage, the amperage of 0 is distinctly a problem. That's showing that it's not providing any current at all. The battery isn't on Greg's system there.
It's currently not showing.
Correct.
Currently not showing. Good. I get a charge out of you, Steve.
Right.
At least I'm in a great mood because I got new blood running through me. I'm going to go see.
On Greg's system, he's displaying the system power settings. Those are all the things that he set in his system preferences for what he would like things to be doing. That's what the settings are. And then if he goes down to the AC charger information section, which is beneath all of that, if he scrolls down a little bit, this is again what the real is, what's happening. It shows that the AC power is connected, but that it is not charging. So it's either a battery that won't take a charge or a charging system that's not functional. I'm going to go and guess and bet with the charging system. And this is a 6-year-old. I've sent Greg a PDF that if he looks in his chat window, if his messages chat window, we'll see if you want to bring up a side-by-side of the two of them. He's going to move that over a little bit for a moment.
You know what? Here we go.
You working on that, Greg?
Yeah, I don't see it.
In your messages window, a chat from me.
No, I don't.
In your messages, I'm sorry, your application messages.
Okay. Well, I didn't have that one running. All right.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I could have sent you something via the Zoom application. Thought I'd keep it typical there. Messages, Buddy, Robert, probably up the top. And look at what says cool. Who the hell did I send that to? I sent that to Greg Locke. It went as a group. Give me a moment here. Greg, I sent it to everybody. There we go. There's that.
Okay.
Okay, take a look now.
On messages or on the chat utility?
Messages.
I'm there right now, and I'm not seeing any updates.
You're looking in your mail, I think. No, you're not. Look in mail.
Look in mail?
Well, no, I thought you were looking in mail. I'm sorry. You're not. You're looking in that. Greg, that's fascinating. All right. Well, we can move on. I was trying to have a comparison side by side that Steve was looking for, and I sent you. I've sent you. Our messages are in somehow, shape, or form not in sync because I've sent you it even.
Okay, I went and got another 85-watt power supply, and now the light lights up. So there's something amiss with this other one, even though it looks brand new. It doesn't.
Greg, send me a text, a message text, please.
Through messages or through chat?
Through messages. It's interesting. We have either a delay or something of that sort because.
How many people do we have on?
There we go. There's Greg.
15.
How much?
15.
Oh, that's the usual. Yeah.
And I see you sending me a message back, Robert.
There you go.
Yep, Robert's battery. Okay.
Okay, so make that larger. Or you may have to do a preview to get it larger.
Wow. Oops. There. Amperage 0 on that one too.
Because I'm currently plugged in,
You're plugged in.
my battery's providing 0% of the
It's
power
running off the-
requirement.
It's running off the AC power, I guess. $57.95 out of 6061 milliampere hours.
Okay, so a side by side here that Greg's offering us. The zero on mine is due to the fact I am fully charged and plugged into power. So the battery supplying 0 milliamps of the current usage.
Right.
So that's what it's currently supplying. Right.
Coming from the wall, in other words.
That's right. So this is
as it shows right there, my understanding of the way these things work, because it does have a charge circuit inside the computer, is that you can leave these indefinitely plugged in. Now, the battery's going to crap out whether the battery gets used or not. Let's face it, one way or another, it's going to crap out eventually. But it's my understanding, because more and more companies are going with laptops rather than desktop machines, and those are staying plugged in all the time, that the circuit just only charges when it needs to charge, basically.
Well, I did, Greg, and guys, I took and I got the 85, another power adapter, and it still said not charging, but it still had the lightning bolt up above. And so I closed the window, reopened it, and then it repopulated all of the things. So it says charging, yes. Cycle count, condition says service battery. So, you know, it may need some service, but the thing is, you know, you just run it and someday it's going to die and I'll buy a new one. And let's see, this one is removable on mine. So, hi Ray, good morning.
How you doing?
Okie dokie. My pool's doing wonderful.
Good. How you doing?
Well, I'm here, aren't I?
That's the old saying, your ass is above the grass.
Oh, ass is above the grass. That's a new one. I tell you, it's just.
All right, so we've beaten this up pretty good, but I think it's added a little bit more information there. So we see what the issue is. The cycle count is interestingly low, but it is not fully charged and it is not charging while the charger is plugged in. So right there, that's just all about a battery issue, battery/charging ability, and that's where you would take the chargers to another computer or yet another known proven this charger works on this system, but bringing it over to his and finding it doesn't.
Yeah,
of course,
it sounds to me, Robert, like my best option right now is to take all this junk over to Steve's house tomorrow and let him run his test on it. So
okay, and I think you'll find it a battery because your whether it be a charging the power adapter is providing power, otherwise a computer couldn't run. So it's charging circuit or battery, and at that life, I'm going to say it's the battery, and you don't have a viable computer without it. So it's a matter of, is the computer worth? You can use it while plugged in, but that's all. So
right.
If you have a desire to move it away from a power circuit, is it worth the cost of replacing the battery to
Well,
move forward?
that's the whole thing, is basically what do you do with it, and is it worth investing $100 or something on a new battery?
Well, this particular model's worth about $500, $518 at Gazelle.
Okay, but that's dollars. Okay, what is its value to you?
Oh,
as a piece of equipment?
Since I don't need this critically in my life anymore, other than fun, I just soon have this one working and wait until I see some kind of a major change in MacBook Pros before I upgrade to the next one. That kind of thing.
Right. It's like
it's not a question of it's not a question of not having the money to spend. It's a question of, is there a practical reason to spend it?
Exactly. Exactly. It's like the iPhones. People say, oh, you don't have a 10 yet? I says, I don't even have a 7 yet. And and the 6S is working fine for me. Plus the fact
Well,
we're so close to getting it paid off that I don't want to take on additional debt.
sure, I understand that.
So,
All right, well, that's the plan then. I'm going to stop the share on this. That's the plan. Steve, I'll give you a holler.
yeah, because I've got that
tomorrow if you're
manual.
available. And
I
let's
got
give it
that
a shot that
manual
way.
for you for the phone.
Sure. Cool. All right.
Okay,
Well,
so
thanks,
we'll touch
Robert. I
base
appreciate
tomorrow.
that. I didn't even think about going in and looking at the system report information. Thanks, Robert.
It's amazing the amount of information that's there, and it can't be found most anywhere else. It's compact and complete and accurate. Yep.
Yeah, and if this thing does need to be taken apart, Steve, if that's still something you do, I may have you replace the speakers on this.
Oh,
laptop,
yeah, you
they're
said
both,
you had a
they're
speaker
both
problem.
blown. They're both
Okay.
blown. I've got a plug-in set of USB speakers I use right now.
Okay.
Just for
Well,
convenience to not listen to that distortion, it would be worthwhile. So
we'll take a look tomorrow. I'll clear out a spot on my workbench, and we'll do that because I can swap stuff. I've got pieces and parts of different the MacBook Pros and stuff. What is that Bob Reed down there at the bottom?
yes, it is.
Hey, I thought you had a meeting today, Bob.
Got to unmute yourself, Bob.
Good to see
There you go.
back. Listen,
I thought you had a meeting today.
no, it's the third Saturday of the month.
Oh, third Saturday. Oh, great. Yeah, because I went, here's what happened was I had a meeting with the city council member. It was scheduled for the first Saturday, and I says, oh, perfect. I got us moved over so that I could attend both things. And so my wife picked me up at the nursing place and brought me to the meeting. And I get there. Oh, well, we changed to the next Saturday. So I got there this morning. Oh, well, didn't you get the message? It's because of the girls' baseball or softball. We're going to have it at 10:30. I says, well, look, I've tried twice, guy. I says, I got to go to my Mac people, such is life.
Well, you're looking good, Steve. You must have lost some weight.
What's that?
I say you look good. You must have lost some weight.
Oh, yeah. I lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 pounds after the heart attack back in July. And my cardiologist put me on basically a vegan diet, and I'm making do. I love my meat and stuff, but I know, especially with all this stuff that's gone on, it clogs things up. So I just.
So you can only eat vegans nowadays. You have to eat vegans.
Vegans. Funny boy.
Greg, is my video currently showing, Greg?
No.
No.
You did a stop video. It looks like if you.
Oh yeah, it says
if you look down in
please.
your lower left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Robert, it says please start minicam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's showing the minicam as your sample picture. There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
Really?
Ray, I just had a question. What did Apple do with all this downturn on the market?
It went down and it's starting to come back up, like the whole market.
Because I know you had, invested in it, and then you've been taking out little at a time as it keeps getting higher. And it's one of those things, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to because the bulk of our Apple shares are in Marsha's name, and they're in an IRA, and she's reaching that 70.5 point where you have to start taking some of your IRA money out. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start doing that probably April or May. So
Apple on Friday closed 156.41 up 189.
yeah, that's down from about $20 about 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah, it was in the 170s.
Yeah, 170s. Yeah.
I'll be done by this meeting in about half an hour.
All right, Greg, help me out here. I'm still lost.
my
Yeah.
video.
Your video's on, Robert.
It's
What's
working
that?
now.
I see your face now, says Robert.
Okay. There was an option on when I clicked on the video to hide my video. And apparently that actually meant to hide it from myself, but not from others.
If you click on that again, we'll see. But the thing was, it said on there something about many.
That's what he's got. That's what he's got. Like when I stop mine, you're going to see the. I set mine up specifically to shove the Apple logo, the club logo in there.
Right.
Okay.
So,
and when I'm talking, maybe mine
the
comes
lower
up.
On my screen, it's the lower left-hand corner next to the microphone, where it says "video," "stop video," and the video options there, Robert.
Okay, but it shows. I'm sorry to interrupt all you guys here, but I'm not seeing a way to turn it back on, if you will.
Well, you did. Now it says, "Please start minicam."
Yeah, now we're back at the minicam dummy frame. So do you have that option down there at the bottom where you can start video? Not recording, but start and stop video. That means start and stop your video from us seeing it.
And it says stop video with the minicam video webcam being checked.
Okay. Is that what you're, are you using the minicam, or otherwise you would just switch over to FaceTime?
Okay, well, if I'm on FaceTime now, it now says stop. Okay, but I do not see myself, is what I'm continuing to say.
Oh, really?
In the Matrix, you don't see it, Robert?
Okay, go to gallery view. Just go to gallery view, or do you have all of us taking the images over, or do you have the one giant? Do you have the speaker view?
I have 4 times 6, 12 on the top and 3 on the bottom because mine has been chosen to hide.
Okay. Well, you got me on that one.
And it in the video it says hide video, and I think that was is designed
all right,
to.
Robert, if you're in the gallery view where you see all of us, go into the upper right hand corner, move your cursor into the upper right hand corner of your picture,
which doesn't exist. I don't have a picture.
Okay, but do you have a window that says Robert?
No, exactly my point.
Because there is an option. There is an option to hide myself and rename Spotlight Video and mute my audio in the little boxes there.
And if you choose to hide yourself and then bring yourself back.
We'll see what happens. That's a good point. All right, I just hid myself. You're right. How do I get back? So you guys still see me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see me. So let's see what the
There we go.
There.
Clean your glasses.
Okay, Greg, we put you on a mission. All right, who else is up? Greg, I let me, since I sent you off on that mission, let me say that I think you've set this up beautifully, amazingly well, such that the emails that we get include a perfectly formatted link to just click and get right in there with the minimum amount of work.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Here's one thing I did was I started up the program, and it asked me, do I want to join a meeting? And I looked at the email on my phone, and I said, okay, here's the same number. And I clicked on it on the MacBook Pro, and it took me right in, because usually I go to the email with the device that I'm using, whether it be an iPad or the MacBook Pro, and click on the link through the email. Here I was able to select it out of a list of previous links.
Right. All right. While Greg is a little on the quiet side, let's see.
Well, because I'm trying to figure out, after I hit myself, I'm trying to figure out how to unhide myself.
Thank you, Greg. Anybody come to the meeting today with a problem or an issue that they're looking to resolve that they haven't been able to bang through?
Yeah, this is Phil. I have a problem migrating the Apple Mail program from an old laptop running a 10.7.5 to my newer laptop, which is running Sierra. And that's a very complex problem. I wonder if you can recommend a tutorial on the website that would help me do this problem. Because in the meantime, I'm using a third-party app called Postbox. And that is very complex, and they don't have a user's manual, and it's, it's, you send in your question and they come back a couple of days later, do this and do that. So the tech support is very laggard and laborious. So
well, I want to make
a good tutorial on how to migrate a mail from an old Mac to a new one.
What I want to do is make a point of this. Greg and I for years have been sharing, leaving our line of communication open in Anaheim Hills and down here in Aliso. And I would get stuck on something and I'd contact Greg and he'd take control of my computer and we went together. And finally he said to me, Steve, take your own advice. What do I tell people? Go Google it. And I have found that the time I used to bug Greg, because it's a software and I'm mostly hardware, but the thing is that anything that you can dream up, it's already got the answers. If you have a problem, I had a problem with the washing machine making a strange noise. Boom, a bunch of people had the same thing. Here's what you got to do. And so it would best be, oh, there's Phil.
Yeah, I took the tape off my cam.
Yeah, it's nice to see there's a person behind the name.
Oh yeah. It's Phil.
Look at all of us. We all have gray hair. Isn't this weird?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the point.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the point. The mail is, you had a problem. You only went to this alternate third-party mail service after you had a lack of luck with the Apple Mail, correct?
Absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So we had a problem, and we decided to do another problem instead. Okay, well, let's go back.
Exactly.
Typically, when one upgrades an operating system, the mail is all handled 100% automatically. So what was not happening automatically when you upgraded your operating system?
Well, I thought Migration Assistant was going to do that for me, but it didn't do the job.
Okay, Migration Assistant will, yes, move your stuff from one operating system to the next and all of that. But what was not working when you got there, did you unselect to have the mail moved over?
No.
Okay, all right. So you don't think you did anything different, but when you got there, when you got to the new mail, your mail just wasn't there?
Yeah, I have a lot of folders and subfolders, and it's pretty complex.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. But the mail, you just didn't have any mail there. Is that correct?
No, it had like a startup version of mail for a brand new thing. Establish your new folders and subfolders.
Okay, got it.
They build it again from scratch, and I didn't.
Okay. So the Migration Assistant is designed to bring over all of your accounts with, if you have an encrypted backup, all of your passwords and everything else, such that it is ready to. You don't have to create new accounts. And then after it's done that, it then imports all of the mail for all of those accounts that are in your on your drive. So going back to mail right now, you can't are you aware that you can use mail individually after the fact on the system?
Yeah, I can, but it's a very crude, as I said, it's a very crude starting from over. So is there. Yeah.
Robert? Well, it's only crude if something is amiss. Yes, Steve?
Yeah. Well, one thing, Robert, usually when I do that, when I upgrade the operating system, the first time I use mail, it says mail's got the contents need to be updated, which means my old emails did that happen to you, Phil? Did it say, hold on, and then give you a thermometer bar going across and it's updating your files?
It had trouble getting onto the, you got to enter all the passwords and your IMAP and all of that stuff.
All that stuff should come right over with Migration Assistant.
It was like starting over, and I wanted to know old passwords that I'd forgotten. Yeah.
No, that sounds a little strange.
I couldn't get mail on the network.
Phil, how did you do the upgrade? Did you use Setup Assistant at the end of the operating system install, or did you run Migration Assistant yourself?
I ran Migration Assistant.
Okay, that's a mistake.
That's the problem right there, Philip. What happens is you're logged in as you. Is if this is what you're coming up with, Bruce? When you do it as part of the software install, you're actually in as a temporary admin user.
That's right.
When you interactively run Migration Assistant after the fact, that's fine. But the problem is you've already got a Philip account, and now you're trying to overwrite that Philip account that you're running currently right now with the Philip account data that's in Migration Assistant. You with me?
Yeah. Okay.
So here's what you got. Here's the easy way to get around that. Go into System Preferences, go into Users and Logins, and create yourself a dummy account. Test, crap, dummy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't make any difference. Make sure you have admin rights. And then log out as you and log back in as that dummy account. I use the same password, I just create a different name. Now run Migration Assistant, because this dummy account did not exist at the time the backup was made, so it can overwrite all the files that it needs to. It's going to ask you, can I overwrite the Philip files? And you're going to say yes, but because you're not logged in as Philip, it'll do it. It's when you're logged in, you can't overwrite a file that's active. Okay, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, I'm following you so far. Yeah.
So you create yourself a dummy account, log out of your real account, log into the dummy account with admin privileges, run Migration Assistant, let it overwrite whatever it needs to overwrite. Tell it to go ahead and do that. Then once that's done, log out of the dummy account, log back in as you, and you should be fine. And then you can trash the dummy account if you want to.
Phil, have you checked in System Preferences, Users, and Groups to see if you have more than one user account that looks like it belongs to you that shouldn't be there? Have you checked that? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't checked that.
Okay, hey guys, real quick, let's take a pause on this, Phil. Hang on, and we'll come back to this because I see Allison and Steve are just about ready to join us. There's Allison waving at us. Robert, I figured it out. How to show yourself. Move your cursor over one of the other guy's windows. Do you get the little blue options, or the little ellipsis is up there at the upper right hand corner?
I see it.
Robert, are you with me? Okay. If I go right now, I see myself again. If I go up there and I click on my own window and I go down to hide myself, I disappear off the list. But if I move my cursor into anybody else's frame and I get some options up in the upper right, if I click on the ellipses, the three little dots, if I click on the ellipses, at the very bottom, there's an option to show myself. Sounds kind of pornographic, but
that's kind of strange, Greg, because I'm doing that. The three dots, the blue three dots, or the blue square, and all it gives me is chat and PIN, PIN video.
Oh well, you can only now if you click on your own window, Steve, click on your own little mini window.
Okay.
Three dots and go all the way to the bottom. You should.
Oh gosh. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Right.
So basically,
but as soon as you turn your window off, you don't have access to those options anymore. So you got to go to somebody else's window, and it appends the show myself at the bottom.
Greg, you have awarded yourself the Sleuth of the Year award once again.
Okay. Well, look at